have with us Mr. Oscar Pereira. He's the founder of the first company that was acquired by L'Oreal in India. And everybody is very inquisitive to find out that how the deal happened, how L'Oreal approached them, and how everything went through. Hello, Mr. Pereira.
Hi, Diksha. Hi.
Welcome to BCC TV. But everybody is very curious to know that how did L'Oreal approach you and how things fell in place. So could you just take us through the whole journey?
The journey was very exciting. You know, let me say from the very beginning that I was, my wife and I own this business. We were at no point of time, it never occurred to us that we would sell our business. And we continued to do what we were doing. In fact, when there were a couple of other companies who approached us and they told us they were interested in acquiring us or taking a stake in our business, we were very, very surprised, and we said, why are we attracting so much of attention? And the question was, how did L'Oreal approach us? There is this very fantastic gentleman from L'Oreal. He's the CEO of the company, Mr. Dinesh Dayal. I'm sure that L'Oreal must have been, I believe that they were scouting for a professional skincare company from 2005. So he had heard about this brand called Cheryl's, and he's a very proficient scuba diver, and my brother-in-law, that's my wife's brother, he's also a scuba diver. So he called him up one fine day and said, hey, but do you know this company Cheryl's, is there any relative of yours? She said, oh, that's my sister. And unlike any other deal that normally happens that you go through a financial institution, Dinesh Dayal approached us directly, and that's how the entire, the conversation started. He said that L'Oreal was keen on acquiring us. Now, when this happened, I was very surprised, because for me, we had always benchmarked ourselves against L'Oreal. If L'Oreal was so good at hair in the professional segment, we would always say that if L'Oreal is to hair, we would say Cheryl's is to skin in the professional skincare market, in the professional market. So it was, I think, a natural corollary for them to approach us, because we were the leaders in the market in the skincare. And from that day, that's the way we actually started talking to them.
Okay. So before this, you never went to an investment banker, you were never looking for any funds to expand. Is that true?
Absolutely. I must mention here that one of the banks that our main banker is the NKGSB, that is North Canara Greater Bank. They were simply fantastic with us. A small bank, a boutique bank, a cooperative bank, but I think they believed in us and they helped us throughout. In fact, whenever we went to them for funds, they were willing to look at us, because generally, I think that's what they tell me in hindsight, they look at an entrepreneur and the intent of the entrepreneur. In fact, just recently I was talking to Mr. Nadkarni, who is the CEO of the company. He said to me that if your intent is correct, your intentions are correct, the banks generally, fund you for your projects, your new projects. And it really happened that, look at what they did to us. We wanted to open skincare centers in India, and we put a project and they sanctioned a loan. And they were after us and said, why don't you take the loan? But we had already started talking to L'Oreal, who were not really interested in this part of the service industry. So here there was a bank saying that here's the money, please take it. And we said we don't need the money because we are not going into that project. So it also depends on how you approach the bankers. We didn't go to anybody. We learned from a lesson that if you're passionate about your business and you get like-minded people, since the business is owned by my wife and I, we were very solely concentrated in our business, and we enjoyed the journey. And when you have, I don't know about this, some people tell me with private equity, there's a lot of interference, and most of it's, the profits, which are very important to the private equity investors, and they are looking for an exit. I'm not really so sure because I'm not qualified to speak because I've not gone through his experience. But we stayed away from investors. In fact, I must say this, that there were a lot of individuals who wanted to put money into our business, but we said no, as and when if we would require. In fact, in our new business, they said they would like to invest, but we said no, until we are very sure that we are able to deliver, returns to them. We are not the kind of people who would just take money for the sake of taking money, because we have a conscience. This is what I can say.
So was the company always profitable, that you never felt the need for any external funding in the initial years also?
Yes, the company was always very profitable. One of the key things and the cornerstone about this company was we were always cash rich. The reason why in this very competitive market, we would not give our distributors a single day's credit. So in this market, they have credit, and if you give credit in the market, I'm not saying it's a bad policy, but recovery of your money becomes very difficult unless you have a huge legal team following up. So our products were always money upfront. So the distributors would put our money, once it registered in our bank account, then the material would be dispatched. So we were never strapped for money, because we always got advance payment for our products. So it was not like our products were sold and we had to receive. In fact, our receivables was hardly anything, very, very insignificant. Very insignificant.
So how has this merger changed things for Sherrills now?
It's going to be a very exciting journey. In fact, we've just finished completing the deal. I look at it very simply that it's going to be an exciting journey. Just because the deal is complete and we've received the money, that doesn't mean anything at all. I think we have now, at a very beginning, we actually sold to L'Oreal because, as I've said time and again, we want this brand to be an international brand, and that gives us pride. I've always said the biggest challenge was to make people believe that our brand is as good, and the very fact that this has happened only goes to prove that Indian entrepreneurs, if you really concentrate, you can become international. So when we did decide to go to L'Oreal, at the back of our mind was, you always as an entrepreneur want to see your brand being taken to a different level. And we were invited to Paris by the entire M&A team, and they showed us that among the various acquisitions they had, that Sherrills will be also a part of their their international portfolio. So that's the story.
Okay. So are you a B2B company, or are you directly also catering to consumers?
No, we are totally a B2B company. Our products are not sold in the retail. We sell our products only through the salons and through the doctors who actually do skin treatments. So you will not find our products in the retail segment.
So will we be seeing your products in other salons also except L'Oreal?
I think the entire strategy would remain the same. However, as you are aware of, that L'Oreal is available in 40,000 salons across the country, and we are available in 10,000 salons. So you will see Sherrills being available across India, pan-India, because they have a much wider distribution, and their clients of course will now start using our products and vice versa. So it is a very symbiotic relationship.
So how do you see the company in the next 12 months? What is the strategy and plan in your mind for next 12 months?
Let me tell you about myself. I can't talk about L'Oreal. As far as I can see right now, the integration is taking place. Our people are now being moved to the L'Oreal payroll. So they have to be integrated with their culture, but our cultures generally match because the DNA matched. We, as far as I'm concerned, I'm still going to be associated with the brand for the next 3 to 5 years in education, in R&D and things like that. But in terms of in terms of the production, we're going to manufacture for L'Oreal exclusively. We put up a new plant and we're going to manufacture exclusively for L'Oreal. What is going to happen in future, I have no idea, but I'm very, very sure Mr. Aseem Kaushik, who heads the professional division, has got plans, and he has briefly shared it with me, but it's not important for me, but I'm very sure he's a go-getter. We call him Asim the Awesome, and he is really going to go and he's going blazing guns for really making this the #1 skincare brand across India.
So will you be equally involved even at this point, or do you have other plans also?
Most important thing is when we started the M&A discussion, I was only supposed to be there just for about 6 months,
Yes.
but they told me no, Oscar, you need to be there for at least 3 years. So I am very excited, because what happens, I'm a person who has been involved in the R&D and the development of these products. And I have seen the kind of work that L'Oreal worldwide does, because when we were in Paris, we saw the kind of laboratories that they have. Even in India, they've set up a very fantastic setup for R&D. So my involvement would be obviously to ideate new products, new protocols, we've already done the development. So that part of it. I'm also going to be doing helping in the education. So my touch with the market is also going to be there, because everybody in the market trusts the Cheryl's name, and I just simply can't walk out.
It's more than 6 months that you're going to be here.
No, I'm going to be there for minimum 3 years. 3 years,
now.
yes.
So what was the scale of the company at the time when you got acquired?
It's there. It's there in the newspapers. Last year we were 23 crores, roughly about 20 crores, but 23 crores is what we had. The turnover, yes.
How had the company been growing in the past?
For the last 5 years, we've been growing at the rate of 60%, 60, 70%, very easily year on year. In spite of, we've never felt the recession, never ever felt the recession, because the market is growing at that rate.
But clearly as a company, you never believed in very aggressive growth. You believed more in consistent.
Of course, I believed in aggressive growth. But aggression cannot be compromised in being reckless. When you have a company like this, you need to understand that we need to actually take care of various parameters. You look at it, our formulations were top class. So what we did was we spent a lot of money in the packaging. If you see our packaging today, it is really, very good. 1 year after that, before that, we did a lot of work on our sales team, on our strategies. We spent a huge amount of money on the videos that we have, the look at how to do the videos we had. So every aspect had to be taken, had to be worked in. And when L'Oreal just came in, we were ready to explode. We were really ready to explode. And if you can see our, our brochures, our packaging, these packagings can go anywhere in, Galeries Lafayette or anywhere in the world, because that's what we build it. Now we had to take it from this level to the next level. And if that is not aggression, what is it? You need to be prepared. You need to make your groundwork before you move to the next level altogether.
But this is a very interesting case, because I keep talking to MNCs and they always say that, we look at top 50 companies, but Diksha, there is a certain size that we have to acquire. But this is a very interesting case in which an MNC has acquired a company which is adding more of value.
It's a strategic case. It's a strategic acquisition, as I would think about it. Yes, I think that if you look at it, you look at the turnover, but that's not the only thing. If you talk to our customers, they value the brand. I shouldn't be saying it in a very totally different perspective. They think that we are like really up there. Why did Mr. and Mrs. Pereira have to sell to L'Oreal?
Yes.
Because that is the thing. They didn't need to, because we were using the products, we were extremely happy, everything was happening. So I don't think that the size of the company matters. It's important as to what that product means to us. Was it a fit? Did we have the same fit? Yes, we had. Did we have the same DNA? Yes, we had. It was a win-win situation for everybody. We were the first people in education. L'Oreal believes in education. Mm-hmm. We did so many innovation products. They believe in innovation. So I'm sure they must have done their homework. They haven't told me why they, actually went through this. And L'Oreal is a very, very, a great company. They know what they're doing. So they must have done their homework to come to us.
So right now, you're prepared for a capacity to cater to 40,000 salons from 10,000?
Yes, we put up a new unit at Vasai, and it's around 30,000 square feet. And we are gearing to meet the requirements that Mr. Asim Kaushal and his team are going to give us. Yes.
So how much investment has gone into this new unit?
This new unit, do you want the figures? It's
Yes.
we had actually two different factories, which we merged it into one, and I think the investment was about 4.5 crores, 5 crores.
This will also involve employment of a lot of new people.
We already have people there, so it was nothing new. Only thing is we'll have to work 2 shifts and then add a 3rd shift, and then we will be able to give them the production.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.